What's up, Orlando Magic fans? It's your boy Nick and Knight here with the Starting Five podcast. We're here to talk about how your Orlando Magic did with the draft, with off-season moves so far, and tell you what we think they're going to do this upcoming season. You may be surprised. You're one of the teams that we really do like. So check out the intro right now video, and then check out what we got to say. Peace.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget. Please don't get offended when you see the kids stunting. Got my queens with me, but it ain't no Scarborough bluffing. See, I'm riding solo while dependent bitches cuffing. I got all I need, me, myself, and I just love it. I've been gone, riches stacking to the ceiling. I'm dick long. Could never change the side I've been on. In 100 years, I'ma still be with my day ones. When it's said and done, fuck where I'm going, it's all about where I came from. You don't know.
All right, the Orlando Magic. That's the what? The number one pick. That surprised everybody, I think.
They took your boy.
Paolo Banchero, the one that looks like Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
As long as he doesn't catch up on his steak, I guess I'm good with this guy.
I ain't gonna lie, it did surprise me that they took him first. But after watching, it did. It really did. Because the narrative was Jabari was one. And then after watching Summer League, I get it.
It's just Summer League, but still.
It didn't surprise me because I think Paolo had the most upside as one of the top three. Aside from Chet, obviously, but from rumors shouted that Chet bombed his workout with the Magic, and refused to give them medical records. But I don't know. Paolo's he has the best chance to be the best scorer in this draft. So
that's what the Magic needed, was a guy who could score for him, because they have a bunch of long wings who can play really good defense. And that's where maybe Jabari would have been a little redundant, because Jabari is probably a better defender. And they could get Paolo and protect him with their other defenders. It's a fun young team they have. If everyone stays healthy, I feel like Jonathan Isaac has been hurt every year in his career. If he can stay healthy, he could be an all-defensive first or second team, and then same for Bamba. I still believe in Bamba, not as much as Zach believes in the Clippers, but I really think Bamba just has potential with his frame. You can't do a little of what Gobert does.
Yeah, he would be Gobert with the actual three-point shot, because he can shoot the three at a pretty decent rate. I don't have an issue with Bamba. I just always question if he's a starter. It's to what extent is my time? Do I develop you? Because are you you're not Big Cat, and I'm not going to pretend you're going to be, but you could probably be better than Capella.
I mean, that's part of the reason that the league is starting to fall apart, though, with high-end draft picks on big men, or just high-end draft picks in general. They don't give them enough time to start to develop into actual ball players. When you look at the 90s, right? Kobe was on the bench for the first year and a half. He didn't get thrown in the starting lineup right away. It was a developmental era, but now everybody thinks right out of the drafts, ever since LeBron, basically, that you need to find somebody who's going to change your franchise tomorrow. And if Bamba gets given the chance to actually grow and learn how to play basketball correctly, I feel like he could be a solid center in the NBA. But a lot of times they rush young talent and they don't end up with anything because of it.
I think part of it is because GMs have a shorter leash now, where GMs used to, I feel have 7 or 8 years to make it right. But now if you're not winning after 3 years, or if you're on the Kings, if you're not winning after 2 years, you're going to get fired. So you can't take as long of a road, which does suck, because I feel like a lot of these 21st century prospects probably got hurt because of it.
That, and I also think that Bamba took a step up because he got to play with Jalen Suggs. It's I finally get a point guard, So that helped. But I also think they need to move on from Cole Anthony quickly.
Really?
Because I think you need more. I do. What do you need two small guards for? Go get you a bigger two guard, a shooter. That team needs shooting anyway. Not to say Cole's bad, but
they got Suggs at the 2, but like I guess basketball's positionless in this day and age. So, but you think Cole Anthony's the one to get rid of instead of Suggs, huh?
I do, obviously,
Interesting.
because you think of the question isn't which one of those two do I keep. The question is who do I keep, Cole Anthony or Markelle Fultz? And if you gave me the choice, I want Fultz.
I want Fultz too.
Yeah.
I want Jalen Suggs and Markelle Fultz starting in my 1-2.
I like having Terrence Ross as a veteran on that team, but he could really help out a contender. That's what I'm surprised no contender has tried to trade for him.
Because obviously Paolo's going to be my 4. Franz Wagner will be my 3, or you switch those two. Wendell Carter will be my starting 5.
Yep.
I mean, ironically, like this team on paper has a nice young core. I mean, with Banchero going there, filling a void that they really didn't need on scoring. It seems like they relied a lot on like Suggs to like game-winning type of moments. And I mean, for him, he's like y'all said, he's going to score at will. He has the body of an NBA player already because he's big. But I think honestly, when it comes down to it, as when we going back to Mo Bamba, like it's kind of hard because you see like last year with Evan Mobley, they kind of got they security blanketed him basically. Like they brought in big men that can develop behind these guys type of thing. And I think if they did something like that with him, it would help him out a lot. Because like you did say, it's a lot of pressure for these young guys to come into the league, and your fan base, your owner, your coaches, everybody's depending on you to show up as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I think Paolo's the luckiest person in the world because the best thing he can do for that team is to show up and ball. Like, no, I'm coming to put up 30 because that's exactly what that team needs is somebody to go try to get a bucket. It's kind of like the situation John Morant stepped in. Is like, oh, nobody else want to shoot it? I got it.
I mean, look at Atlanta. They had Trae Young do the same thing. I mean, Luka basically on Dallas for a while. Like, as long as you have a guy that can go get some buckets, I mean, you're going to be talked about at least. I mean, he's the number 1 pick also, so that's bringing some spotlight to your franchise, which Lord knows you need it because.
So what are y'all's expectations of him? Like, what do you think he is and what do you think he'll be?
Paolo?
At Apollo.
Like, at his peak, like, this is going to maybe be crazy, but like a Carmelo Anthony type player, like somebody who's just great on the offensive side of the ball.
I was thinking
can just shoot it, but like, he might be a liability on defense, but I mean, that's all effort on his part, right? If he tries, he can be a good defender.
Well, I think he'll actually be a better defender than Melo because that is a good comp. But I think that he won't be as good of a shooter. Like I think he'll get more buckets around the rim opposed to the 3-pointer off the dribble like Melo. But I do see what you're saying. Like I agree with that. So basically, he'll be like a prime, super good Tobias Harris.
Yeah, I like that. And if he's able to be that guy right away that comes in and gets buckets, he'll open up the rest of the floor for a lot of these young guys to actually start to produce and be more comfortable on the floor. Like they're not gonna win. They might win 25 to 30 games this year, but they'll be a lot more exciting to watch now that Paolo's there.
I think they're a year away from the play-in. If they keep this core together and they stay healthy, I think they can make the play-in in a couple of years.
I would agree with that as long as you manage that shooting guard position properly. Because I'm telling you, you have a 1, 3, 4, and 5 for the future. Like to me, that team is set up for that. But if Markelle Fultz doesn't perform well enough and Cole Anthony, you have to figure out a way to get a good 2 guard on that team. In my opinion, like a Buddy Hield. I mean, somebody, they don't have to be like an all-star, but somebody who can get the job done.
Donovan Mitchell?
That might be a little overkill.
That would take a lot of touches away from Paolo, actually. But I like it, though.
But James might be right because around that, you give Paolo 2 or 3 years, it's going to be time for people to start saying, okay, Paolo needs help. Who's coming? Who y'all getting to help him? So, I mean, it could be within the realm of possibility that somebody like that.
Well,
Yeah.
knowing how bad the Magic are, they're probably going to have to draft themselves a new two.
That's what I'm saying. All these guys you have on your team that are drafted, you have to have money.
Well, here's my thing, right? Like, why do we always assume that Miami's just this horrible place to be? Like,
Because it's not. They made the Eastern
Orlando?
Conference.
yeah, sorry, Orlando. Sorry. Why do we pretend that Orlando is this horrible place to be? Like, it's right by Miami. It's in the state of Florida. If you're gonna be there, you're okay with it. I wouldn't be surprised if a big name free agent goes there in a couple of years if they keep this core intact.
That's what I'm saying. This group has to perform well enough to entice somebody.
Right. Yeah, it has to be attractive.
LeBron got guys to Cleveland. Anything's possible.
I mean, it's weird because like Florida's just like Texas, where you pay no state tax, but you feel
Every
like
city hates each other.
Yeah, but you feel there's these franchises like Dallas is that franchise where like they always talk about why is it so hard to get free agents to go there. I mean, Dirk Nowitzki pretty much couldn't get people to go there. Luka, I mean, I guess you got Christian Wood, you hooray, but that was a trade. I mean,
I think a lot of times it's because the franchises struggle to put a decent team around whoever's their current star, and that shows.
I really blame it on the fact that media hypes players in college that are good and portray them to be great, and then teams take flyers on people that they shouldn't have. That's my opinion.
Do you think it comes in also with the players? Like, I know like Damian Lillard said he doesn't recruit type stuff. I mean, I'm sure now he is, but like, Banchero like is basically like the guy there. You know, him and Suggs go out and like entice somebody from around their draft class or before them that's be a free agent. I mean, I think that's your best bet of getting somebody to go over there. And I mean, the way that you see kind of the wave for the newer like the franchises that have those young guys, like the new faces of the NBA type of thing, like Ja and Luka and like Trey. And so then you're seeing now that bottom wave coming in if they still play to this caliber that we think they are. I mean, summer league is summer league, so I'll take it with a grain of salt, but it's different bodying a bunch of dudes that are probably going to be in the G League compared to going head to head with freaking Jimmy Butler one day, then Jason Tatum the next day, then LeBron the next day. Then
right.
This just doesn't strike me as a team that's going to be super competitive, though.
They were 22-60 last year. That's dead last in the East.
They're going to
said last overall. I think 25 to 30 games is probably where they end up this year.
I was going to say around 30. I think they're going to be sneaky, feisty.
Yeah,
I like it.
I just don't get. I don't think that. I think the team's actually a little soft.
You think they're going to be worse than last year?
No, I mean, I'll give Paolo the benefit of the doubt, but Calvin hit it on the head. It's between 25 and 30. I mean, he's probably good for 4 or 5 more wins.
So you have him like 14th or what?
Something like that.
Like,
I just think they'll be one of those teams that if they win, it's because they're doing what they should be right, and when they lose, it's because they just don't show up to play.
I could see like a 32-50 team.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good year for them.
Yeah, that's probably their ceiling.
Yeah, that's if Mo actually shows up with his hose, you know?
And Isaac.
Yeah, now we're talking.
I guarantee you there's not a day that they don't wake up cussing the Toronto Raptors for taking Scotty Barnes. I know they're mad.
But everybody says that Suggs fell to them, man.
Hey, it's y'all's team if that's how y'all feel. I like Suggs. I think he's a good player. He's definitely an NBA player.
It's kind of like the Jaden Ivey situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. That Jaden Ivey, Detroit might even got luckier. Jaden Ivey, in my opinion, is better than Suggs.
It's funny because like how James brought it up, last year's draft and this year's draft kind of felt the same a bit. Like you feel like you heard all these things that were going to happen, and the players went to pretty much where they fit in the best of what was needed for those teams.
It's crazy because we talked all that shit about Keegan Murray, and in all of summer league, he looked better than all of them.
I know.
And those guys hoop. Banchero hoop. Chet hoop. Jabari had good games.
Yeah, the summer
Boy,
league.
King gonna win MVP.
I agree.
Yeah, summer
Bobby
league
had
was
to
very
get
fun
hurt.
this year. I mean, people were mad that they took him out of the summer league games. I'm like, dude, summer league is just to develop, get some time in, let the coaches see what they have. I mean,
Right.
You're not really.
Who do you
competing.
think Orlando starts? Do you think they start Wagner, Paolo, or do they start Paolo and Isaac?
Oh, and Isaac.
Hey, I think I would rather have Isaac on the floor playing
They
defense.
love Wagner though. I'd rather have Isaac.
I like Wagner
Yeah.
too, but his energy could be very helpful off the bench.
So
And
it's
start Wendell, Bomba coming off the bench.
the bench might not be bad.
It might not. Terrence Ross coming off the bench.
Hey, Terry.
It's one of those teams that's just like, okay, we see what you're trying to do. We see what you have now. Now let's see what y'all can actually do.
32 wins. That's my pick.
So you got them winning 32.
I'll go with
I'm
27.
thinking- If I got to give you a number, I'm going to go 30 on the dot.
Give me 29.
I'm gonna pick.
Price is right looking at it.
I'll pick 25.
25?
I think they get 3 more wins. I mean, the East is still stacked.
That's what I'm saying. The East is going to be better.
I'm looking at the teams. I mean, Pistons got better. Pacers got better. Wizards they're not bad. Knicks, they're the Knicks. I'm not even going to say it on the Hornets. Well, they got worse. Cavaliers, Hawks. I mean, Brooklyn loses KD, and then maybe they'll be the last, but I don't know.
I mean, they'll probably get enough talent on the back end of whatever trade they make in order to not be the worst. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate the idea if Orlando made an offer for Colin Sexton.
Ooh,
Mm.
that'd be a decent fit. I was actually looking
That'd
at
be a
free
great
agents for
fit.
2025.
If you told me
And-
that they were getting Colin Sexton, then I would go to that 32 range and win.
Something I just thought about though, which we should consider for all these bad teams, is who's going to try to tank for Wembayana.
Victor, yeah. Bitty Bitty Bomb Bomb.
Bitty bomb.
Billy Bomb. Yeah.
It's not as stacked if you're the worst team, but I feel like that may influence some of these bottom teams just to bottom out.
I mean, the Spurs are basically showing it hey, we're going to tank this year.
But the Magic need to win games. They haven't been winning games in a long time, and you can be rebuilding, but you need to give your fans something.
Yeah, plus
And I
what they
think
got a second-year coach. He needs to show something.
I think we see Paolo. What do you guys think Paolo averages per game, rookie year? I think it's a success if he averages anything over 15 points per game.
I think he'll clear 15 easily.
I think he will too, but he has to at least clear that, right? Otherwise, it's considered a failure.
I'm thinking he's going to be somewhere in the high 18, low 19s, maybe about 8 rebounds.
I was going to say 19.8. I don't know why. That sounds right.
It'll be there.
19.8?
It'll be like that 19-point range, probably about 7.5, 8 rebounds a game, 3 assists.
I mean, he's a good playmaker. He has good passing skills.
I mean, we played him in the first game of the summer league, and he came out super aggressive, and I liked what I seen. I was like, okay, this dude is going to develop better because he's in the league now. He was being held back in college.
Yeah, he's going.
Yeah.
I think he'll fare well against bigger bodies. I mean, he has a big body himself. Looking at him next to Jabari, I was like, holy shit!
He's a big boy.
And the benefit to it is he's playing in the East, so it means a majority of his matchups will be against guys who are hybrid power forwards, like 3-4s. So he may have a lot of physical advantage over people. So I don't worry about Paolo. I think he'll do good.
I agree.
So what would be the biggest weakness on this team if we had to
Star power.
Youth.
Health.
Shooting.
Jesus.
God.
Those are all right, I think.
I mean, yeah, they are. They
I think
basically
those are
hits
all
everything.
correct
on them.
answers. I just didn't expect them to be rattled off in consecutive fashion.
It was just boom, 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 boom. Nah, I would agree though with those. It's tough because the Magic have been bad shit since I can remember.
Since the way.
Yeah, and so it's their fan base, whatever's left of it. I mean, you like James said, you want to give them something to be, cheerful about. Like, there's certain teams you have that are young, and you're like, okay, I see the vision now. And I think with Banchero, it kind of gives them that hope. Like, Suggs last year, Banchero this year, you got Wagner and all these other guys. Like, you can see the process a bit.
I give him an A- for the offseason so far because I want to see Orlando play.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that. I want to see Orlando play.
Yeah, and I think if you're able to attract people to put them in the seats, then you did something right as a GM and as a team.
I think that's the good thing about basketball is your team's fun to watch. People will go watch just to watch it. Like, I hope, I know you're going to probably lose most of your games, but
that's
if
okay.
It's fun to watch. I mean, now you played like the old Memphis Grizzlies. I ain't going to go watch. That was boring as shit to watch.
I like the grit and grind.
Grit and grind. Oh. The grind house. The hypocrisy of all this is that we sit here and we say that we want to see Orlando play and we kind of hope they want to do good, but the very first time we watch them play on TV and they suck, we're like, God, you are fucking stupid. You should have took Jabari, dumbass.
It's gonna be fun though, like the one-on-one matchups of him and Jabari, him and Chet, him and freaking last year's draft picks, like,
Oh, I can't wait to see him go line up against like Giannis, power forwards, Jason Tatum.
Him having to guard Zion's big ass head. If he ever makes it back in the league ever.
He'll be back. He knows some shit.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. To the Clippers of the state of Florida.
God.
Good luck with
Don't
these
do that. Don't do that.
I care about the Magic.
I care about the Clippers.
Oh, man. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Make sure you go show some love, man. Leave some comments if you agree, if you disagree. But that being said, we'll be here dropping videos on your team and all the other teams in the league and doing breaking news all on our Facebook. So go check it out. Much love.